Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So I hope you all are practicing. So today I am going to discuss compound interest with the help of class. I mean in this program I will use oops and I will show you how to solve compound interest problems on compound interest. So in this video, we are going to find out amount as well as compound interest. This is based on compound interest, but we have to find amount as well as interest, which will be compound interest. So, I made this program to find the both. Okay, let me first run the program, then I will show you how it's working and what I have written for all these things. So, let me run my program first. Python, and this is my ci.py. So as you can see, this is a menu driven program. That's why it's providing you some options that like 1, 2, 3, 4 and add. So you have to choose a choice between 1 to 4. So suppose I'm choosing 1. So as I want to add required details, whatever details I will tell you, actually you will know just after if I hit enter, then you will get know. So suppose I choose 1, and why I choose 1? Because I want to add details. So I hit enter and it's asking me principal. So suppose I'm giving a principal like 8,000. So, and again, it's asking me rate. Rate would be what? So, rate would be, suppose I'm giving 5%. Okay. And enter time. It's asking me year actually. You can write over here instead of time, you can write year also. So, suppose I'm writing here, year will be, time will be 7. Sorry, 4. And it's asking me enter number of times. So, before going to this input, I want to tell you about compound interest. So, compound interest, we know simple interest. We have learned simple interest and compound interest in class 8 or 9 or 10 maybe. So, simple interest is just like that you have taken some money from a person, and after 1 year or 2 year, you have to pay like 2% rate or 3% rate on it. So, it will be suppose you have taken amount of 2,000, or I mean, principal will be suppose principal is 2,000. So, if the principal is 2,000, then after 2 years, if the rate is 2%, then you have to pay 4%. The 4% will be your interest, and along with this 2,000 that you have taken from that person, that means the amount will be what, if we calculate 2% of 2,000, then it will be 20 rupees only. Okay, yes, 20 rupees. 200, if you go for 20%, 10%, then it will be 200, but we are calculating 2%, so it will be like only 20 rupees. Okay, 2% will be, wait, let me show. So actually 1% will be 20 rupees, but we are talking about 2%, so it will be 40 rupees for 1 year. And again, if we calculate for 2 years, then it will be 80 rupees for 2 years. So you have to pay 2,040 rupees to that person. But in compound interest, when we talk about compound interest, then it's not like simple interest. Suppose you had taken 2,000 from a person, and he is charging you 5% or 10%. Suppose he is charging you 10% compound interest. It will be compounded. So in the first year, you have to pay the interest only. You have to pay 200 rupees. Okay. And in the next year, it will be add. That means 200 plus 2,000 plus 200. That means you have to pay 200 plus 2,000 plus 12, 2,200. And then if you are taking it again for 1 year, then the interest will be on 2,200, not only on 2,000. So this is known as compound interest. And also, along with this, if the person who given you the amount, he can charge you quarterly, half yearly, or maybe monthly also. So suppose he's charging you quarterly, so you have to pay more amount than usual. So if I do like something, okay, so let me show you. This is the formula actually of compound interest. If we are going to calculate amount, then it will be like this: P into 1 plus R by 100 into N. And compound, if we go to calculate compound interest, then the value will be the formula will be P into 1 plus R divided by 100 into N minus 1. That means we have to we have to minus, this is my principal, sorry, this is my amount, and from amount we have to minus the principal, then only we can get CI. That's why I have taken common here. P is common, that's why we have given two parentheses. As you can see, this is the first parenthesis, and as I have taken common P from these two, that's why it's looking like this. Or you can write like this also. Suppose I'm writing CI will be my P into 1 plus R divided by 100 multiplication N, and then I go for minus P. So I have just written this in like this. I have taken common. That's why I have written in this way. So this is the two way you can write. Okay, let me tell you here. P is principal, R is rate, and is number of times it's going to be compounded. That means they are. They are going to take the interest. It will be for 1 month, that means monthly, or it will be quarterly, for 3 months, or for 4 months, or for 6 months, then it will be called half yearly, or it will be 1 yearly per annum. So this N will represent how after how much time they are going to take, they are going to charge the compound interest. Suppose first time you have taken 2000 rupees, and they said that you have to pay half yearly. That means the compound interest will be, suppose R will be your 10%, but as you are paying half yearly, then it will be 5%. But that means after each 6 month, your interest will be compounded, and you have to this interest will be add to your principal, and again you have to pay on that principal that is already added to the first, and now you have to pay on both of them. So this is like something compound interest. Okay, here T will be your years and A is your amount, and CI will be compound interest. So this is all about. Okay, let me. So here I'm going to. I have to. I want to change this. I will write here instead of time. I will write here years. So it will be better to understand. Okay. I will do it, but after showing you the codes. But first, suppose I am giving that I want it half yearly. Half yearly means twice in a year. So I'm just putting here 2. Okay, now if I hit enter, so it will tell me what? It will prompt me that required detail added successfully. Okay, but I didn't get amount or compound test. So for this, I have to go for choice number 2. So suppose I'm choosing 2 as my option, and as you can see, required amount will be, your amount is 97,000, sorry, 9,747.22. If you want, you can calculate with calculator also. But as I created this program, so this will work like calculator to calculate compound interest. Okay, so next is what? If you want to get compound interest, then you have to choose 3. Suppose I'm choosing here 3, so it will provide you compound interest. As you can see, if you go to minus, simply if you minus, let me write over here, then it will be easy to understand. Instead of writing all this thing, you can also write CI equals to A minus P. That means if you minus the principal from the amount, if you have amount, then and you are you just subtracted the principal from the amount, then you will get your compound interest. So you can manually do this. This is just 8,000 and I got amount as 9,747.22. So the answer will be 1,747.22. It's very easy. And now if I choose fourth option, then it will be existing the program. But suppose if I choose five, then what will be the answers? It will give you invalid choice. Please choose valid option. Now I'm going to choose four. So it will give you existing program. So how I manage this? So let me show you. Okay, if I go to show you the first, let me show you the class first. In this class, I have given some portion. You can see that I have defined a class with the class keyword followed by class name, which is my compound underscore interest. This is my class name. Okay, and then I have using the constructor over here. I have just construct the constructor, and I have passed two parameters. First is myself, which will refer the current instance which I am going to create later on. But right now, this is my first parameter, self is my first parameter, and star args, which is arguments. So this is my second parameter. And as we know that arguments takes indexing value, I mean it will take only value and it will be of type, it will be stored in an index at a specific index. So that's why if I here this is my class attributes. So I have defined. If you not define over here the principal rate time, okay, let me write this. I want to write it. It's T, okay, let it be. Mm, if I don't define over here, then you will get error. So try to maintain this. Okay. Next, I have defined two methods. I will talk about it later on, but right now let's move to the main part, which is our while loop, which is infinite loop. And in infinite loop, I have given some options because I told you that this is our menu driven program. That means you will have options to choose. That's why this is known as a menu driven. So these are some options. And in this option, as you can see, that I have written add required details. And what are the required details? You have to provide principal rate, year, and number of times. Otherwise, how can you calculate amount or compound interest? You have to provide all this thing now. That's why the option one is to add required details. The second option will be your amount, and the third option will be your compound interest. So let's. This is my choice, and actually, I am taking a user input, and this will be of type string by default, but I am going to typecast it. If I want, I can use it as a string. There is no problem. Then I have to mention over here in choices also that this is a string. But right now, I'm just typecasting it. That's why it will be of type integer. So if I choose option one, then how much things I have to provide? So first, I'm just going to take. Okay, let me first change this. I want to change this. Okay, it will be suppose years. Okay. Now it's good. So I have to provide principal, rate, time. I mean, time is year, and number of times it will be compounded. So I have to provide all these things, and this all will be user input. And by default, it will be of type string, but I'm doing it as a floating. I have typecasted it in float. So that because we don't know now that as you can see here, the amount is in the floating number. This is a floating number. If you go to check the type of amount, then it will be of floating number, float. So that's why I have initially mentioned that it can be float. So let's do it like this. If you choose, if you have given 8,000, there is no problem. It will be of type integer as well as you can count it as a float. No problem. So that's why I have mentioned here float initially. Hmm. Next, as I written over here, as you can see, the required details added successfully. So that's why I have printed over here. Okay, before this, I have created a list to store principal, rate, year, and number of times. I have to store all this in together so that I can use it later. That's why I have created a list, a reference called details, and this is a type of list, and this will be empty because I don't know the details. So it is user input. User will provide me, then it will get stored in this list. So now, here I have asked user to give my principal, rate, time, and also, I mean, year and also number of time. So this is my instance. After this, I have to create an instance or object, you can call. And this, I'm going to assign my class name. As you can see, this is my class name. And I'm assigning this into, when you will create an instance, you have to put into the instance, you have to put your class, whatever you have made, whatever you have created the class, you have to put over here. So I'm passing some parameters, which will be my principal, rate, year, and number of time. I have to pass all these parameters over here because in the first I have given this is my class attribute, so I have to mention over here. And by writing like this, I'm calling the constructor. And where is my constructor? My constructor is here. So I'm calling this so that it will work properly. Okay. Okay, so the next point is I have to append, as I have created a list, so I have to append this information as I have called the constructor. So after calling the constructor, I got all the things. So that's after that, I have to store all these things into the list that I have created over as details. So that's why I'm using append function, and I have passed compound this instance within parentheses. I mean, this is my argument. I am just passing it so that all the details will get stored in the details list. Okay. Now I have just written like required details added successfully. So this is my choice one. Okay, let me do this again. I'm doing it again. Suppose I'm writing like this. Hmm. Before this, I want to clear. So let me clear this. And again, I'm writing Python ci.py. Okay. So this is my first option. As you can see, let me run again. So I'm choosing one as my option and it's asking me principal. So suppose principal is giving, I'm giving 9,000, right? You can, if you want, you can give in a floating number also. So at the rate will be, suppose your rate will be what? Rate will be suppose 8%. And enter your years. So years, suppose I'm taking it 3 years and time will be, as I'm taking it quarterly, then it will be for 3 months, 3 months, 4 times 3 months. So it will be 4. Now, required details added successfully because I have written over here required details added successfully. That's why it's giving me this option. Okay. Next option, if I choose if I choose to, I will get amount. So let me do this first. If I choose to, then as you can see, this is my amount. And now, one thing you can notice over here that I am getting the answer, the amount up to 2 decimal point. It can be 9, 10, or 8, but I'm just getting 2 up to 2 decimal point. Why? So let me show you first. This is my choice 2, and for this I have written because you know that I have detailed all I have stored all the details into the details list. That's why I'm just checking over here. If not details, that means the details is not present in the details list, then it will give you required details are missing. And if else else the details are present over there, then it will give you required amount like required amount. It will prompt you required amount. And after that, we are just doing iteration, and for this it will, I'm taking a temporary variable b, and I'm just taking for b in detail. So in the first iteration, it will pick the first value or the first item present in the details. So it will be what? It will be principal. So it will pick the principal and it will get a store in the variable b. Again, it will pick, it will go and select the variable called what? Variable called r, and it will get a store in the b. Again, it will go and pick the value of the item t and will get a store in the b. Again, it will go for n and will store in the b. So like this, all the details will be getting stored in the b. And now we are going to use a method to get the amount I have written. And when you are calling this method is going over here. As you can see, I have just put my cursor over here and the control is just going to the line number 8. So let me show you this method which I have written. So in this method, I have taken a method called calculate underscore a. A means amount over here. Okay, and I'm passing the parameter called self. I have to pass this, otherwise it will give you error. So here I am just giving a formula for amount that I have written over here. So it was just simple. If you want, you can do this program in a simple manner, but I am doing it in oops, that's why it's looking like this, and that's why I have created the, this is my class attribute, so I have to use all these things instead of normal p r t n. I have to use self dot p, self dot r, self dot t, self dot n. So that's why I'm using all this thing over here. So as you can see that I'm just written over here the formula. That means here you can see this is my P. So P into 1 plus R by 100 N into, sorry, to the power, oh, wait. I have missed out something. I didn't write over here. I have to write over there. Wait, let me do this. I have to provide over here 100 into n. This will be the complete formula. Here also I have to give double star. And why we are using double star? Double star for what? Double star for your, wait. Double star for square or to the power actually. I'm using here to the power. Not only there, or here also I have to do this. Okay, now it's good. So that's why I have mentioned over here double star, and double star refers to the power. Like you are writing to the power 2, that means 2 square. So you have to give like this. The prompt will be like this. Suppose I'm giving you option. Wait. Okay, suppose you want to write 2 square, then you have to write like this 2 the power 2. This will be the process. That's why I have given here 2 star. And please check the parenthesis very carefully, because in this you can make mistakes. So that's why you have to check it very carefully. And I have just written the formula over here. And this is my, this I'm going to print. So that's why I have written an amount. And why I have written like this, so because I want the answer would be up to 2 decimal points, that's why I have written like this round, and within parentheses I pass amount, then comma, then 2. So that means it will take just 2 decimal points, not more than 2. As you can see, there are just two parameter, just 2 points after after decimal. Okay, so I have to call this method so that I can get my answer amount. So let's move to the third one. The third choice would be for compound interest. So it's similar like amount. So I'm just checking first that the details are present in the detail list or not. If they're not present, then it will be give you details are missing. And if the details are present, then it will give you required compound interest would be your it will iteration will take place over here, and we are calling the to display the calc, compound interest, we have to call this method, and when the cursor will be here, the control will go to the line number 12. And here I have defined my method. So I'm calling this method, and in this method I have written the formula that I mentioned over here, which is my P into, actually I have written this formula. Sorry, yes. P into 1 plus R divided by 100 into N to the power 100 into N. Sorry. Again, I have made mistake. I have to write over here T. So this is T. Yes, this is T. Okay, sorry. So this will be T. So 1 plus R to the power 100. 1 plus R by 100 to 100 into N to the power Tn. Okay. Suppose T is your 3 years and N is your quarterly. Quarterly means you are taking 3 months. You have to pay after each 3 months the compound interest. That's why n will be 3 and time is also 3, so it will be multiplied by 3 and it will be 9. That's why I have written over. So I have mentioned this formula over here. As you can see, this is I have written this formula. Just check it carefully. Okay, and for all p you have to write like self dot p. For r you have to write self dot r. For n you have to write self dot r self dot n, and for t you have to write self dot t. That's why this is little bit confusing, but if you do it by yourself, then you can understand what I have written. It is not complex actually, but first time if you are seeing, then you feel like that this is very complex, but actually this is not complex. If you understand, then it will be very easy for you, and you don't need to remember all these things. You can just do it by yourself. Okay, and here I have using some other method to take up to two decimal point, the value up to two decimal point. Here I have using round, but here I am using just I'm taking curly braces and doing like this. I have given the colon then dot to f. So you can use these two methods to take take points after decimal. It can be 2 points, or it can be three. As you want, you can take one also. This is up to you, totally up to you. So that's why it is going to call the method, and now you will get your answer, desired answer. Suppose I'm choosing three as my choice, then the answer would be what? It will from amount principal will be subtracted, and the answer will be 2414.818. So this is all about this. And if I choose, okay, let me show you. If I choose 4, then program will be exit and the loop will be break, the infinite loop will be break. And if I choose some other option, then it will give you, suppose I'm choosing 5 as my option, then it will be like what? Invalid choice, please choose valid option. And now I'm going to choose 4 as my option. So as you can see, existing program, that means the program is going to exit, that it will know work right now. So this is all about the compound test. I hope this is actually a very interesting topic that I have created. So try it by yourself, then you can understand it better. For okay, and just do it by yourself, and keep practice. Stay happy and healthy. Bye bye.